Hello and welcome back to our training where we talk about how you can get more done in less time using the power of Prosperity Central. And on our training today, we're going to continue talking about using PhoneBurner so that we can power through our calls at a rate of 60 to 80 dials an hour. And more specifically, we're going to be talking about the difference between scheduling appointments and follow-up calls. How do we manage those when we're making calls using PhoneBurner in Prosperity Central? But before we get into that, once again, my name is Jeff Osnes. I'm your host, I am your trainer, I am your tour guide as we go through this Prosperity Central system. And what is the Prosperity Central system? It is an online contact management system designed to help you manage, organize, and follow up with your prospects in an effective and efficient way. It was specifically designed for the network marketing industry. However, anyone in sales can benefit by taking advantage of this amazing tool. So if you know somebody in sales or network marketing, take a moment now and share this video with them so that they can start to learn about this great tool. Now let's get into our training today. Now, like I mentioned earlier on our training today, we're going to continue talking about PhoneBurner, but more specifically, we want to talk about the difference between somebody you connect with and you schedule an appointment with versus somebody you connect with and you just need to follow up with. So we're going to jump over to contacts and we're going to go ahead and jump in a dial session. So we're going to go to our C1 Call 1 Save Search. This once again is a list of all of our records, all of our contacts that are in the Campaign 1 folder and have not been called yet. So we're going to go ahead and select these records and we're going to begin a PhoneBurner session. That'll bring up the PhoneBurner dial session window. I'm going to go ahead and bring this over just a little bit more so it's more centered. We're going to choose a phone script just so that we can talk about the phone script. We're going to choose a voicemail. Our dialing set. Let's go ahead and choose our demo set and live answer set, demo sets. Those are the buttons that we had been customizing specifically for this training. And then caller ID, we're going to use the dial-in number and we're going to continue. Now we just need to get our phone connected to PhoneBurner. This is one of the great things about PhoneBurner. It does not require any special equipment. It works with your existing phone, your existing computer, and the way you connect the two is with a simple phone call. So I'm going to go ahead and select that number. Now, how you call that number is completely up to you. You can use your cell phone, your home phone, your office phone, whatever phone you want to use to initiate your dial sessions. So now that I've connected, I'm ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and hit start dialing. And now the system is going to start calling through my contacts, one right after the other. So if I'm calling Captain Marvel and he doesn't answer, it goes to voicemail. I don't have to listen to the entire greeting. I don't have to wait for the beep. I can click that voicemail button. I can click to leave a voicemail and I'm off to the next call. Now, of course, that's not what we're on this training to talk about, but I do like to point that out because it is an amazing feature within the system. Let me make this window just a little bit larger here, and let's click on live answer. Let's say somebody answers live. There's no pause, no delay, no awkward silence. You just start talking to them. And then at some point during the conversation, you'll click live answer and you'll end the call and you'll move on like I just did right there. But let's say we just talked to the green arrow, had a good conversation with Mr. Arrow, and we scheduled an appointment with him. So first and foremost, I want to add my notes. And then after I've updated my notes, I am to a degree ready to move on, right? I've done my notes. I'm ready to move on. However, we don't want to move on just yet because we need to make sure that we've done everything we need to do related to this contact before we move on. And here you can see I had a great conversation with Mr. Green Arrow and he wants a call tomorrow at 3 p.m. Mountain Time. So I'm going to click on Actions and I'm going to schedule an appointment. Now, why am I scheduling an appointment? If somebody asks me to follow up with them at a specific date and a specific time, that goes on my calendar. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that in on my calendar for tomorrow at 3 p.m. and set a reminder. I can send him an appointment email. And I'm going to save and close. So like I said, if I talk to somebody and we schedule a specific follow-up date and time, that to me is an appointment and that goes into my appointment calendar. I don't want to lose track of that contact. I want them in my calendar. And in this particular case, I'm going to consider that person as interested. So I'm going to click the They Are Interested button. That's going to move the record into my interested folder and move me on to the next call. So let's say we're calling this contact. We connect, have a great conversation. So I click Live Answer and I end the call when I'm done talking to them. Now let's say this particular call resulted in somebody saying, hey, sounds interesting, but I don't have time to chat right now. Give me a call back next week, next month, next year, whatever. You fill in the date. Not a specific date, not a specific time, just sometime in the future. What I like to refer to as the polite blow-off. They're nice, but they're not willing to fully commit to being interested and scheduling a specific date and time. Just give me a call sometime in the future. That could be, hey, I'm super busy right now. Call me back later today even. So I'm going to make a note about the conversation. Now, in this particular case where they've asked me to follow up with them in 2 weeks, I don't want to clutter up my calendar with these types of contacts. So I'm going to use my follow-up date custom field right here, and I'm going to choose a date 2 weeks out. Just going to set that date. And then I'm going to click the follow-up button. When I do that, that record will be moved into my follow-up folder, be put away in my follow-up folder, and I don't even have to think about them for a couple weeks, and we'll talk about that here in just a moment. So once again, if we get a live answer, we talk to them, have our conversation. If we schedule a specific follow-up date and time, that goes into our schedule appointment, into our calendar. We don't want to lose track of those people. If they don't give us a specific date and time, they give us some point in the future, we want to set that date in our follow-up date custom field. And so let's say they said today or later today or whatever. So we choose that date and we click follow up. Now let's go ahead and end our dial session. I'm going to go ahead and close out of that, close that, close that. So we just did our calls. If I click on my C1 Call 1 Quick View, you'll see it goes down from 69 to 64 because I just called some contacts and they are no longer uncalled. They have been called, and so they no longer qualify for the C1 Call 1 Quick View. And if I go to the C1 Call again, they don't show up there either because some of them, like in the case of the voicemail, they won't show up as someone who needs to be called for at least a couple days. And if I go to my C1 Callbacks, well, not everybody that I called is going to show up here either. So here you can see Galactus, this is the one I called, and if I open this up, you'll see this is the contact that I called and I set the follow-up date to today. And our C1 Callback Save Search, once again, is showing us a list of contacts that are in our C1 follow-up folder that have a follow-up date of today. If we click on the C1 follow-up folder, we'll see all of our follow-ups, not just the ones that have a follow-up date today or older, but all of them, including Bucky/Winter Soldier, who is scheduled to be followed up with in a couple weeks. So he will stay out of our view, safely tucked away in our C1 follow-up folder until that follow-up date comes due. And at that point, he'll pop up in our C1 Callback Save Search, and that's when we need to follow up with him. So anyway, that is our training today. As you can see, Prosperity Central is here to help you boost sales and growth. It is a super simple system to help you present your opportunity, organize your contacts, and track those contact activities so you know who to focus on and when to focus on them. There is a 2-tier affiliate program built into the system to help you start building a second income stream, all while helping your team take advantage of tools they should be using anyway. It is mobile friendly and it is priced just right. Now, speaking of price, there are 3 account levels: Basic, Professional, and Premier. Basic account is free for life. That's so everybody on your team has no excuse not to have a Prosperity Central account. Everybody needs a Prosperity Central account so they can plug into you and your training. And then the Professional account, $24.95 a month, gives you everything you need to manage, organize, and follow up with your prospects. And then for your team leaders, those that are trying to build an organization, they should upgrade to the Premier account. $49.95 a month gives you all the tools you need to create fully customized content within your account and share that content with your team. So they don't have to go and create it themselves, including the ability to create a training page so you can share training with your organization. Now, if you don't have a Prosperity Central account, you need to go get one today. Go to prosperitycentral.biz. Once again, prosperitycentral.biz. Go there now and set up your account so that you can start getting more done in less time using the power of Prosperity Central. Thanks again, and happy prospecting.